young people were killed this day. But we must understand that there is like a very high price, but there is a willingness as well to fight as long as it takes. And for us, it's much more easy to support them. But at the same time, we have other crimes going on. We organized together with US and Ukraine and Belgium government during the United Nations General Assembly week in New York, the side event about the deported children. So this is documented that we have more than 20,000 Ukraine children deported and kidnapped to Russia and to Belarus, and we don't know what is going on.
In Washington, and you've been to other places in the States before we met. So what was your purpose here? What brought you here?
Yes, we flew in with my delegation to Arkansas. It is very important as well to understand what is going out from the bubble of DC, as we call it sometimes. And also Arkansas is an important partner to us because we are having now one of the biggest procurement what we have had in Estonian history about defense procurement about HIMARS is approximately $300 million worth deal. And of course to discuss as well the situation and how people in Arkansas and politicians in Arkansas see the situation, of course in US, but also how they can see the situation, what we are having concern with Russian aggression against Ukraine, because we have this aggression ongoingly already more than 19 months. So it is very important for us as well to explain how we see it as we are the country very close to the aggression of Russia and also neighboring country. Mm-hmm. And also, but at the same time, the very good and strong partner to US. We have very, very strong ties on the security policy and economical policy, and also we were discussing our cooperation between the state of Arkansas and also the Estonia in the meaning of economic cooperation.
Yeah, the HIMARS. What's the purpose for the HIMARS? What's that deal for?
It is very important that we now invest more and more to our independent defense capabilities. My past as well, I had been a defense minister in Estonia, and I was responsible at these times in 2016-17, welcoming the enhanced forward present troops, the mission troops, to Estonia. And now we put like more than 3.3% next year for GDP to defense. And also we invest to our own, the independent capabilities. Mm-hmm. But the main point is that now we have new members of NATO as well as Finland, and also I'm very sure that Sweden will be officially as well the member of NATO. And we must build the common systems based on the same solutions and to be coordinated on different levels of missiles and air defense and the fighters and all the different levels of defense systems. So, and for us, the HIMARS was, of course, the very practical choice, but also as well the choice that we can do something together in the region and together with the US. So this is as well the political choice.
And speaking of the political choices, you're here now in Washington, I believe, for some meetings on Capitol Hill, and I'm curious, first of all, to get your reaction to what's going on Capitol Hill, because it's not business as usual.
Yeah, of course, but I think that there is no business as usual globally. We are living in a historical momentum, a lot of tensions in different societies. There are economical questions, the inflation, energy questions, and of course security. And the Russian aggression against Ukraine actually somehow was the wake-up call to everybody, in the meaning that we can have this scale of war and genocide, deportation of children in the 21st century in Europe. I think that nobody was ready for that. But as well, we have to understand that we are democracies, and the democracies is not meant to have a wars or to be a part of the wars if they are not in our territories. And we see it from the history. And this is one mission as well. I see that what Estonia is trying to do is to explain that it is the most efficient and also the cheapest way to get rid of the historical will of Russia during the last decades to have the constant aggression. And so Ukrainians are not fighting for their own freedom only, but for us as well. So this is like the common understanding. But I understand as well if different societies are getting tired of this, because it's like already more than 19 months. But we cannot just get tired. We have to have more arguments. We have to have more clear picture and focus on Ukraine. But at the same time, of course, we have to understand that there are many other conflicts ongoing in the world. Of course, the Hamas terroristic attacks against Israel. And I think that the most of the focus of the international community is now there. But we have to get this understanding that we can walk and chew the gum at the same time, because we have to deal with all different conflicts, because they are violating our way of living and our values and our understanding of the international law. So we are having one perspective as a country, as a nation. We have been living neighboring with Russia already hundreds of years. But as well, we understand very well our partners at the other side of the world. But we are here to hear what is going on, of course, on the Hill, very interesting processes. But mainly different processes are domestic as well, normally. We see these in Europe as well. We have different elections coming and already had in Poland and also in Slovakia. So this is normal part. So our main message is that let's keep focusing as well to Ukraine, to support Ukraine, because this is not only the military conflict in Ukraine and in Europe. This is something bigger.
How would you characterize your meetings on Capitol Hill? What did you accomplish? Who did you see? Or to the degree you can say, how did those meetings go?
For this moment, I've had only one meeting, and many meetings will continue. More than 10 different congressmen and senators from all different parts. So I think that everybody understands what is really going on and what is on the stage, but also understand as well the struggle, because this is a part of the democracy in the meaning. And now the practical question is, of course, about to get the speaker position in place and get the processes running. But I'm pretty sure that U.S. will have this political will to constantly support Ukraine, to have the next decisions about the different packages. And also I understand that there is no reason to be worried that now the focus is going only to Israel, but this Ukraine topic will remain, because U.S. has been through the history the leading country in the meaning of establishing the order or the balance of different powers about democracy. So, and my position is just to remind and also put more arguments on the table and to keep our feeling that what we must do, and also explain that as in one argument is that it's much more cheaper now and much more efficient to deal with Russian aggression at the moment to support Ukrainians, because Ukrainians are fighting for our values and they are ready to do it instead of us. When I was defense minister 2016-17 in Estonia, we saw constantly the picture, the other side of the border in Russia, more than 120,000 troops ready to go within 24 hours. It was a normal thing. But these troops are not existing anymore. These soldiers are mostly dead, and they are dead in Ukraine. Instead, that maybe we could have any kind of military conflict in our territories. So that's the reason as well why we constantly supporting Ukraine as much as we can. So Estonia has put more than 1% of GDP military support to Ukraine, and we do as much as we can, because we know that this is the most cheapest and efficient way to get rid of this this threat of aggression from Russian side.
How would you characterize this war right now? The state of the war, the situation, the position, how would you characterize it?
We are in constant communication with Ukrainians, and I was 2 weeks ago as well, together with European Union foreign ministers in Kiev, and met with President Zelensky and Foreign Minister Kuleba and many others. And on the military ways, they are fighting heavily. And we must remain that actually Putin had a plan to go in to have so-called special operation for 6 days. And now yesterday it was the 600th day of this invasion started. So we must understand that Ukrainians are really, really strong, fighting back. But also there has been always the problem that about communication, that there was some kind of wish to believe that now the counterattack will come and then it will be ended. It's not a war movie. That's what I'm saying everywhere, that we used to see the war movies, 2.5 hours, and now it seems to us that we have already had it like 2 hours and 10 minutes. Now we have to rub it up in the meaning of to find who is winning and also who are the heroes. But this is not a full war movie, unfortunately. So this is not the momentum for the advertise, and then we see who is winning. We must support Ukraine in the long run, and also we must understand that this is the most cheapest, again I say, the way, and also to explain our taxpayers that at the same time we don't have to use maybe long run our taxpayers' money, but we can use as well the opportunities to put Russia pay for that. Estonia has started the legal process domestically to create the legal frame that we can use the Russian frozen assets already now, the public and private, to use these assets instead of our taxpayers' money to support Ukraine and also to recover Ukraine as a Marshall Plan 2. And also this is economic aggression for a long run. I think that US people still remember the Marshall Plan after the Second World War, and I think that the US economy really gained a lot from that, and also European economy at this time. And Ukraine is the size of Texas state and has lots of potential. So we must be a part of that, and we can be a part of that, but not only using our taxpayers' money, but also we must put the aggressor pay for that, as Russia is. So there are the opportunities for that.
Very quickly, do you think that this situation with the speaker on Capitol Hill, coming from your point of view in Europe, has impacted the progress in the war, or has it slowed it down? Has it even impacted it at all? Is it important in that regard?
Of course, it is important to get U.S. democracy processes on the Hill ongoingly working about the adoption of the different packages of support Ukraine, and of course to run the country and to run the government. Of course, this is very important for us, of course. But it has not like the straight impact right now, because we are still ongoingly supporting Ukraine. But of course, for everybody, it is much more easier to understand what are the further steps when the speaker will be elected and this kind of problem will be solved, because then the democracy can work in the meaning of the processes of decisions. I definitely understand the situation, because even in Estonia we have a struggle in the parliament. Then opposition is using the different technical opportunities to block the processes. But this is understandable, but I'm sure that democracy will find a way out of that, and not only because of Ukraine, but also to support Israel, or also to make decisions for its own people and taxpayers. So, but this is much more the domestic matter in the meaning what kind of process are going on. We all understand that the president elections will happen next year, and everybody is connected with that. But I think globally as well, everybody is looking what is going to happen, because U.S. is having one of the strongest positions globally.
Okay, one final thing. Is there anything that I haven't asked you about that you think is important as we discuss your trip here, the war in Ukraine, and where the war stands right now?
I would like to add two things, maybe. One is just the information, or we have to imagine in how hard conditions Ukrainians are fighting. So, as I mentioned as well about the war movie, and it's not a joke, but when we were in Kiev just 2 weeks ago, we were explained actually what is going on the battlefield. And can you imagine that you have like 30-40 kilometers range minefields and 6 mines per 1 square meter, and you're going through that under the heavy fire, and Ukrainians are losing more soldiers and young people when they had like a year ago, but they are fighting constantly. So we have to understand that this is not just the place for criticism that you're not moving as fast as we're waiting. This is awful thing. Second thing is that actually we are taking this, not we, but in comfort situation that okay, the forecast news maybe are more important than the news that how many hundreds of young people were killed this day. But we must understand that there is like a very high price, but there is a willingness as well to fight as long as it takes. And for us, it's much more easy to support them. But at the same time, we have other crimes going on. We organized together with US and Ukraine and Belgium government during the United Nations General Assembly week in New York, the side event about the deported children. So this is documented that we have more than 20,000 Ukraine children deported and kidnapped to Russia and to Belarus. And we don't know what is going on with these people, these children. And this is happening now in the 21st century in Europe. So there are like side genocide and side actions going on. We have to repeatedly announce publicly that what is going on, and we cannot get tired of that. So, and then the third thing actually I would like to put is about the aggression crimes as well. One thing what we got out from the Second World War, we finished it in a proper way, in the meaning of reestablishing international law as well. So we as a community, international community, created the definition and understanding about the leadership crimes of aggression. And we must put Putin and the leaders of Russia now under the special trial about the leadership crimes of aggression. This is not something that we can just easily say that it's a complicated thing, we cannot work. How can we explain to our people that there is immunity for their leadership as a Putin about the starting this aggression? So we have to deal with these kind of things at the same time when we are supporting Ukraine for to win this war at the ground. But at the same time, we have to deal with all the other matters.
Well, Minister, thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.